Alright, let's start another project. The owner of this one doesn't like the whole mummy arm floating into space thing. He likes the flames, and the black's okay, and the wheels are definitely not that good. And he doesn't care about the card art or anything. So we're going to dispose of that because he doesn't want it. So with that stated, we're just going to make a custom out of this and not worry about anything else. So with that stated, here's the car. It's actually a very cool casting. Nice Impala. I mean, the thing, I love the back. Gray plastic base. We'll probably change that. As a matter of fact, I know we're going to change that. Like I said, we may change these wheels. I don't know. We'll have to see. Because, I mean, you really can't see in there. So I might not do anything about that. But we definitely need to change those fronts. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But we need to get this bad boy apart. You know the process. Alright, there's that. Get an empty container for all the leftover goodies. Drill bit. Where are you, drill bit? There you are. In there hiding. Shame on you for hiding. And these posts look like they can handle a, oh yeah, they can handle a 256 easily. So we'll use those because I don't have many 172s right now. I need to get some. But you know the routine. Drill them out. Get the car apart. Alright, got her apart. Man, that'd be a mighty small axle tube to try to build. Wow. I might be able to swing it though. We'll see. We're done with that. Don't know if I'm going to paint the interior or not. Probably. Green glass. He said it didn't matter about the green glass. And the paint color we're going to go with, it'd probably look really good with it anyway. So, close that up. Put it up there so we have all the parts together. And now I got to drill this out. And man, I wish all Hot Wheels had those big long posts like that. Drill it out and get it ready for screws. Alright, let's get some screws in this bad boy. And if this is your first time ever watching one of my videos, the reason we put screws in these, or the reason I put screws in it, let me back that up. The reason I put screws in it is it gives my helping hands, or the clamps that hold the car while I paint, something to hold to, rather than just the slick sides of the post. And it allows me, if I ever want to redo the car, or if something happens to the car, and if it's a commission build or something, let's say it's a commission build and I send it off and something happens to the paint and I need to take it apart and redo it, because you know you have to basically offer what's called, not really a warranty, but you know you have to make good on your work. So if something happens to it, I need to be able to take it apart. Plus I'm going to be, you know, putting different wheels on some of them possibly and all that, so it's going to be going on and off, and I want this to always hold just like I put it together. I don't want it to ever come apart. I don't want any problems or issues out of it. And then secondly, it keeps all these scissor strip bits from past car decals, the scissor strip itself. It just keeps the holes nice and clean. So with that stated, it's been raining for about an hour now, and when that happens, these land in North Carolina gets all nice and soupy and wet, so you will get stuck up. And that's exactly what happened to this bad boy. Look at it. He went off the road, pulled over, flat tire, ran out of gas, whatever, and now he's stuck. Bye bye. Next time you see this car will be when we take it out to get it ready for paint. Next up, you're going to get out your brass bristle brush and your 4-0 steel wool, and we're going to make this car look like something now. You know, you're just going to give it a quick once over to see if there's anything major you need to take note of. And if there's not, then we can hit the body lines, like the door cracks, the hood cracks, the trunk cracks, anything like that where residue or paint could be left, and we're just going to hit it, and this knocks it out. A lot of people use the wire brush on the Dremel, but I prefer to do it this way. It just works best for me. I don't have to go over the whole car because I'm going to steel wool it, which is what we're going to do next, and it makes the car almost look polished, as you can see here. Now what we're going to do is go over the car, making any mental notes as far as body lines, pitting, scratches, gouges, anything that needs to be removed by filing. And once we take mental note of all that, we'll break out the files of different shapes and sizes and everything and start filing. And all you're going to do is just, if you can, you want to hit the spot you're going to file in long strokes. Go to full length, because if you don't, what you're going to do, if you're just working in one area, you're going to create a flat spot that when painted you're going to see it. It'll stick out like a sore thumb, and it's going to be next to impossible to remove. And even if you do it, if you discover it before you paint the car, it's still going to be hard to get that spot leveled back out to match the rest of the car. So just take your time and do it in long strokes, and you'll be fine. After that, we're going to hit it with some sandpaper. I typically start off with 150, then I go to 320, 400, 800, and I end up with 1,000, because most of my cars get primed and painted, and once you get up to 1,000, you're not going to see anything when you prime it and paint it. So I typically stop with 1,000. But the paint and the primer will cover up anything past 1,000 that you really don't need to worry about. Now I'm going to take the 320. I just got done with the 150. I'm going to hit half the roof and show you how quickly this can make a difference. And what happens is as you go up in finer grit sandpaper, what it's doing is it's creating more scratches, but they're smaller. So what happens is eventually whatever you're sanding, whenever you go up high enough, will just look like a matte finish, because there's so many scratches that there's no shiny metal left. And right here you can see just this little bit of time at what a difference that little bit of sanding with 320 did. I mean, look at the difference on that. I mean, with just primer and paint I could stop there, but we're going to take this all the way up to 1,000 like I said, and we're going to get her done. Alright, got everything set up outside today because it's a beautiful day. We had rain showers come through this morning, and it's been 96 and 97, and today it's only a blistery 71 degrees. So I figured we'd come outside and do this today and share the weather. So I have 3 bodies out here with 3 bases, and we're going to try to get them all primed up. And that's all we're doing today is priming them. I'm using Auto-Born Sealer Black. I really like this stuff. It works good. It sticks good. It holds good. Now, that's not to say when I run out, I may not try something else. But right now, I'm really loving this stuff. We have a 56 Ford. We have the panel van, and we have the Impala. So let's get everything going, and I'll start with the Impala. All right. That in. Start with the Impala body. I mean base. Just light coats as always. You see how good that coats and how quick it coats. Let it dry for just a second. You can actually help it with air from the airbrush. And then we'll hit it again. A little heavier this time. As you can see, got the base all nice and black. I'm gonna just let it air dry. We'll come back to everything, give it a once over after we get it done. But now I'm just gonna hit the body. And here's a word that here's something you need to know. Whenever you use the degreaser, make sure to dry the car off, because if you just let it sit on there, it can actually stain the body just a little bit, as you can see. But I rinsed it off again. I washed it with warm soap and water, but you know, it's just one of those things that can happen. But be sure to always rinse it thoroughly and then dry it. Don't let it air dry. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get this bad boy primed up. Hopefully I don't drop it. Sometimes these clamps work real good and sometimes not so good. So you just have to be careful. Looks good in that color, don't it? Oh man, look how good that looks. Heck yeah. Today we put the next layer of paint on this, as well as the base. And to get that desired look and the desired color that we want, we're going to need a few things. Because what we're going to be doing is putting a marble texture on this car. So we need something to do some dabbing on. So that'll be this paper towel. I need a piece of cardboard, but I'm going to go with that. We need some plastic wrap, right? And we need some paint. And it needs to be some kind of metallic paint or gray or silver or something along those lines. And for ease and everything, because I've used it before and it works really good, I'm going to be using this Cryoline original chrome that I've had for a very long time, and it really works well for this process. So here's how you do it. Of course, you want to shake your paint up really good. Then you're going to want to take and get a piece of plastic wrap. You know, it doesn't have to be anything big or huge or anything like that. And it doesn't matter if it gets all crinkled up, because that's the point. You want it to be crinkled up. You want it to have all kind of different shapes and stuff. So you kind of just mat it up into whatever you want, because you're going to spray your paint on there. Then you're going to dab it on the paper towel to get rid of the excess. And then you're just going to come along and put it on the car and keep doing that until you get the pattern that you want. How do I want this? Let's see, let's go like this. And you can see how that just leaves the texture on there. And then you just keep going until you have the texture and pattern that you're looking for. And that's really all there is to it. You just keep repeating that process. A little bit more right there. Then we set this over and let it dry for 24 hours and come back to it. Cover that bad boy up. Now we got to do the same thing to the base. And it's the same exact process, nothing special. Paint your fingers and then you dab it on. Try to get it down into some of the cracks, because I always paint my bases, 99% of the time I paint my bases to match my tops. But once you get it where you want it, you just stop, because we'll be going over this with a translucent paint. So, but you have to kind of force it down in to get it in all the cracks and stuff. But once you get it where you want to stop and leave it at that. Now we're going to do the base. And as you can see, it's got the marbleized texture on it. It's amazing how that process works. But while that dries, we'll do the body. Here we go. After giving it some time to dry and everything, here's what it looks like. Turned out really good. Nice glossy finish. What I did was I put on a clear coat to help level the edges and stuff from the two different types of paint, because the metallic paint is a different consistency and it's an actual aerosol compared to the green. So I wanted to level it out to give the decals a smooth surface. And this is what we're going to be using for the decals, Rat Fink. The owner of this particular car didn't like the decals, like I said, that was on the original paint and everything. So he had seen where I did a marbleized car for James Hewitt's, and he wanted that type of paint with some Rat Fink decals. So that's what we're doing. We're going to put these decals on and everything, and some of it we'll be able to use, some of it we won't, because it's not made for this particular car. These are actually made for a Talladega, not an Impala. But that's the thing, you know, they can't make and stock and design decals for every single car out there. So, you know, in some cases, if we can't print them ourselves, we just have to use what's out there. And this is what's going to go right here. There's going to be some trimming involved. We'll lose some of it, some of the actual decal, but that's okay. You know, we just do what we got to do. So let's get these decals put on. And now we have the decals on. Here's what it looks like. I decided to just go with the big one on top and the two long ones on the sides, and I'm going to hit it with the micro saw to help keep the decals down, because like in the middle of this rear you can see it's kind of a V shape, and you don't want this decal pulling up over on in time. So we're just going to hit it with some micro saw, and that helps it lay down in all the cracks and door cracks and, you know, just all that stuff, or any rolled edges, or like where it goes over the top of the roof or anything like that. So you just want to go over it and give it with the micro saw, and that helps it lay flat, lay in the grooves, and it almost gets rid of the clear paper altogether. It just makes it look like it's painted on. Alright, let's get this one done. This one was a very rough casting. It's amazing what they can hide with a little bit of primer and paint. This bad boy was rough, if you remember the trunk area on it, but this is how it turned out. Look at the gloss coat on that bad boy. Oh my goodness, I mean, it just turned out beautiful. The owner of this car saw a video where I did the marble paint for Hewitt's Hot Wheels and really liked it. So they were talking to me, asking, you know, about the particular car, because he didn't like the decals that was on it. Remember, it had the old mummy hand going down the side of it? Well, I think that side looks a lot better now. What do you think? I just think that looks a lot better. So let's get her put together. And I don't know, I didn't do a lot of detailing to it because I like the color that is actually on it, but I did not like the interior that was in it, so I painted the interior gloss black just so it doesn't take away from the paint job, because I think the paint job with that windshield will speak for itself. You don't want a old gaudy looking interior, you know, shining through and everything. So I just painted it. I didn't do a lot of detailing or anything, because like I said, I like letting the cars do the talking. So that's what we're doing. Let's get this thing put together. Alright, windshield, interior, and I changed out the wheels. Remember, I had the silver lace wheels. I just thought these were more appropriate. Got the red rim, that'll go good with the paint job, as you'll see here in a minute. I detailed the front end just a little bit, nothing major. I like letting the paint jobs do all the talking and everything. I did do the tail lights on this, but let's put it together and see how it looks. Oh man, yeah, that looks gorgeous. But as I put this together, I'm going to show you what it looked like to start with. And, you know, it wasn't a bad casting. It just wasn't a perfect casting. But as always, with, you know, personal taste and with Hot Wheels and stuff like that in general, you know, this looks good. It does. It looks good. But we just believe we can do better, you know, as being customizers or die-cast owners, however you want to say it. So that's what we did. So I now give you the Rat Fink Impala. Hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching.